Educators, I think, have an ethical responsibility to deeply understand the young people with whom they work. I think that if you are teaching someone's child, in some way you need to know the family, you need to know something about the neighborhood in which the child resides. You need to understand the variety of both challenges and opportunities that are part of that child's life, because what it does is to give you a kind of repertoire of possibilities in terms of how you can connect with kids.
I think it's really important that educators are culturally competent because the diversity of our children now is greatly increased. In Hawaii, for example, there are no majorities. Everybody's a minority. Even within our own cultural groups, let's say ethnic Japanese, where they're 26%, depending upon the background that they come from, the generation that people immigrated, there is difference within each so-called category. So there is really no way for a teacher to assume that just knowing that most of the kids are going to be a particular ethnicity, there's going to be a certain way to teach.
So to me, cultural competence implies a certain grounding in the social relations of local communities, so that you not only get to know the community a little bit better firsthand, but that you give yourself plenty of opportunities to learn from others.
Cultural competence is creating a context that will honor students' culture, students' way of looking at the world, their value systems. And for teachers in a classroom, it's creating an environment that's safe, that will allow students to be who they are.
The first question everyone who wants to be culturally competent as an educator should know how to ask of themselves and also of the young people that they work with is, tell me what it is that you're expert in. And it's that sharing of expertise and learning that enables us to think of cultural competence as this ability to navigate, negotiate, and mediate all the rapid changes and the diversities in every sort.
I think it's a special competency that teachers need as part of what I want to call, the moral obligations entailed in teaching. And the moral dimension of that work is, if I want to have impact in terms of my teaching, then I have to come to know the community, the families, where I would be working.
As our communities change and evolve, as our children become different in relation to the circumstances, how society changes, educators need to be culturally competent because it's morally right, it's ethically right, and it's a matter of justice.
The basis of teaching and learning, right, is the social relation, so that being able to expand our ways of interacting and engaging others, I think, is central to a sound pedagogy in contemporary schools.
I think the student achievement gaps are accompanied by other kinds of gaps. There are gaps in teacher knowledge, performance. There are gaps in the relationship between schools and communities. So NEA has an opportunity to call attention to these ways in which education can do more and be more for our local communities and for the nation.
The gap has to do with the misunderstanding of different ways of looking at the world, of different explanations, of different ways of, conceiving content. And the more we inform and educate our teachers, our leaders, everyone across the board about what some of these distinctions are, and they get worked into the curricula and they get worked into the preparation and ongoing professional development of teachers, then we'll have the opportunity to ensure that the gaps will be closed.
One of the things we know is that the young people who come from some of the most under-resourced communities can respond when they're asked to step up to the line and show what their achievements are. You're very, very strong in drawing, you're very strong in visual development, you're very strong in reading the text and the illustrations in the science book, but your achievement gap, as we now define it in education, is coming when I ask you to write a paragraph, and you simply don't want to do that. So let's think about adding to your achievements and making those achievements that you already have spring forward and bloom in a different way.